Ladies and gentlemen, live from the WCRD studios at Ball State University, it's live from Letterman!
Alrighty, now good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Logan Browning, and you are listening to Live from Letterman, the only late night talk show here at Ball State University on the radio, strictly at this time slot. Now, I know for those who tune in week to week, you're probably thinking, he says that every week. I'm saying it more as a challenge. You know, how like ancient cultures used to put like the heads of the deceased enemy villages like on sticks outside their village as like a warning. I want to keep putting this forward. I want someone to challenge us.
To try and use our time slot?
Yes, I want someone else to come forward and try
To take our time slot.
to take a time slot. I want it all out. Every time I see like someone walk by the studio, like when we're gearing up to showtime, I'm like, oh, please sit down. I want to have a late night talk show off.
That'd be pretty
here.
funny.
That'd be fun. I would tune in.
To see who's better. Because
Yeah.
if they ended up being better, I feel like we would honorably submit.
Okay, listen, John, we're optimists here on this show.
I said if, not that they are. I said if.
They won't be.
Okay, all right. I agree, too. I don't think they would be.
No, I hope not. That'd be very awkward. What if it was David Letterman?
I think we would definitely lose.
He was our
then.
opposer, was David Letterman.
I'm not going to let someone use my name and show me up in my building.
No, we're talking about the other Letterman, sir.
No.
No, we're talking about Francis Letterman.
Francis Letterman.
Who's that? Oh.
I don't know, but we're trying to show him
We're
up.
just using his name. And that is, of course, a threat to you, David Letterman.
Yes.
He was on campus September 30th. I saw today. Someone posted a photo.
Oh, yeah.
So if he wants to come back.
Do you remember last year when him and Peyton Manning were randomly at Ball
That was
State?
2 years ago.
2 years ago? I
Yeah.
know it was for Peyton's places, but I remember you coming into our dorm and you walked in like, hey, did you have Peyton Manning and David Letterman are on Ball State? I'm like, wait, what? Why?
Did I tell you about the amount of times I've missed David Letterman?
Oh, yeah. It's
I've
weird.
missed him like 5 times, but by like 2 minutes each
I know.
time. There was one time I left here to go to class, and then literally 2 minutes later he came in here. And
In this room?
In
Like
the
the radio?
WCRD, yeah.
Okay.
There was a time in Robert Bill's that day. I left
yeah.
because I had to go to work. That's when I
Yes.
worked in that office and stuff. I left, and like 5 minutes later, he came through Robert Bell, and a bunch of people got
Didn't
photos
him
with
and Peyton Manning, when they came and they got like Taco Bell together at Tally?
No, I hope they did, because I worked like a foot away from it. So I was hoping they would come
I
through.
thought it was that you went and got Taco Bell, and like as you were like going up to like I think the cash register, I don't know, but you said like, yeah, I was talking to some lady, and she's like, yeah, Peyton Manning was in here just a few minutes ago, and you're like, wait, what?
I think they walked through. I don't know if they got.
They might have. Maybe they're getting a campus tour. Or maybe Peyton Manning was craving a Doritos Locos taco.
Wow, celebrities are just like us.
I know.
Wow, and folks, because I now realize I forgot to introduce this man. You're listening to the silky sweet bearded voice of my co-host, Mr. John Page.
Yes.
Whose mic I remembered to turn on this time.
Thank goodness. I'm glad you remembered.
There we go.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I decided to leave that into the YouTube recording. I was like, fans of the show are getting it raw dogged. Like they're getting it live and uncut. They're getting all errors. They're getting everything.
Man. What a great analogy.
What can I say? I figure it's pretty applicable. So Johnny, how you doing? It's been another week under the notched belt.
Yeah. Starting to hit it's definitely starting to drag,
Yeah.
just we're trying to get week by week. Yeah, it's been
I don't know if I should give you like a hug or like a gun with one bullet and like let you decide what you want to do.
No,
like,
I
you
just
went
it's
so sad.
it's mainly like I think I kind of got a little ahead of myself in terms of like how much I work and especially the classes I chose to take this year. Like, I mean, I'm kind of glad that I have 2 sports classes, which is nice, and I've got 2 online classes. One is a sports class, but it's not too particularly hard. But the other in-person class that I have is that astronomy, and that is every week that goes by, I truly understand why I have such a low IQ because I don't understand it. I don't get it at all.
You missed. I just came from an event over at the planetarium. As we would do for class tonight because they chose a bunch of our monologues and like did stuff.
Yeah.
And they did a Q&A after.
Oh gosh.
And this doesn't count as defamation, slander, or libel because I don't know who said this. But someone took, I kid you not, maybe saw 35 seconds trying to find the word immersive. And, which I understand, I lose words all the time.
My mouth literally, like, I was smiling, and then all the muscles in my face just relaxed into. They didn't think of the
You just
word.
felt so relieved.
I felt like, oh, I'm not that dumb.
Well, no, like it was one of those like I mean, it happens to all of us, but they were literally sitting there, and the way they described it, like, wasn't even like, what's the word for like something that like surrounds you, like brings you into the experience.
Like, oh my gosh, immersive.
They're just like, they're like, you know that thing that's like you're like looking at everything and like.
So they gave like the worst description of the word possible.
Yes. All they were missing was
I've
the
never-
phrase like, and you feel like you're there. If
Yeah.
they said that, I would have been like, oh, immersive.
Yeah.
No, what they were thinking, I had no idea. I was so lost.
No, that's yeah. No, I know.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, that is a theater major. Only say words that were written for them. But
Exactly.
yeah, no, I feel that. I think I can kind of feel it dragging on.
I'm just
me a
waiting
little
for
bit.
Thanksgiving break. That's all I'm waiting for. Just got to get to
Get about a
Thanksgiving
month.
break. Yeah, I know.
Then we have an excuse for being like slow because we're just all carved up.
All in that, what is it, trip to whatever you call it from the turkey? You ever heard about that?
What?
Like people, when you eat turkey, you get like really tired.
Yeah, like a carb coma.
I call it because like people say I don't think it's real, but there's like a thing in the turkey meat where it's like it makes you. It's got like it's like tryptamine or something like that, and it makes you get sleepy.
Oh.
Like Adam Sandler did like he did like a joke about it in one of his songs on SNL, which I figured like okay, that's probably not real if Adam Sandler's making a joke about it in an SNL song.
Are you going to sit here and tell me Grown Ups isn't a documentary? Are you saying Click isn't real?
No, Click
Dude.
was sadly not a
Okay,
real
are you going to
movie.
sit here and tell me that my favorite NGA player, Happy Gilmore, is not real?
No, he's not.
You're really teeing me off.
Oh God,
Ha.
this is pretty much what the show is.
Yeah, I really
It's-
apologize. I
It's
don't
me
know.
saying something, you then figuring out a way to make a groaner about it, and then me groaning about it.
Yeah, Groner. Really know her, though. Well, that was a great summary of the show for our guest
Yeah,
here today. Today is a very oddly special
a little bit.
show that we have going on. Just one, like all of our guests so far have been kids we know, friends we've talked to, and so far the only huge monumental-ish one, like one's kind of like to the personal lives, is we've had like a friend of ours for a couple years.
Yes.
Miss Maggie Brackwell come on, and we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. We have John Page's literal flesh and blood in the room. And beyond that, if you want to go later, obviously you've known this person for his whole life. I've known him for just about as long as I've known you.
Yeah,
Because I've known you, I met you, go to your house, and I meet him.
yeah. See
You know.
him.
I
It's
would
kind of
say
hard to
we're
miss
that
him.
close.
No, you want to say you're that close? All right.
No, it's not like we lived like
2 doors down.
2 doors down from each other.
No, not at all. Well, if you haven't been able to pick up on context clues, ladies and gentlemen, maybe you're theater majors. But let me introduce you our guest today, Mr. Drew Page. Drew, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
you.
Very excited to be here. You know,
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm good. I made the hour haul to the beautiful Muncie, Indiana, around 3
I think somewhere in there those words are out of place.
I don't think anyone's ever said that before, but
No.
you know,
I don't
it's
even
a
think-
Bob
beautiful
Ross did.
scenic view
Yeah,
of
well, but yeah.
corn and
Heroin needles.
Yeah, and gravel roads up to the
Interstate.
armpit of Indiana.
Yeah.
The armpit. I don't think we're
Gravel
the armpit.
roads.
I
Where
think
did you come
I
from?
took it back ways, I guess.
Oh, there we go.
I think we're more like the belly button.
I would say in
of
between the
Indiana.
fingers.
Not in terms of location, but like
I would say, what do you call, like, you know the outer of your elbows, the weenus? What do you call the inside?
That's probably what we are.
That's what I think we are. The kind of like the inside of your elbow.
The inside of your elbow. Yeah.
That like thing like where you bend and then they're like, oh look, it's the butt.
You bend it and you're like sometimes when you like sleep on it weird and you're like, ugh, it's all sweaty now.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. That's pretty much a
that
good
spot. The inner elbow.
Yeah, the inner elbow of
elbow
Indiana.
crease.
Yeah.
That's what Muncie, Indiana is.
Yes.
Our news town.
So what
sign.
would be the knee crease of Indiana? So you got the elbow crease.
Terre Haute.
Terre Haute. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. In terms of geography, I don't know where Terre Haute is. Just in my brain, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Terre
And
Haute
then
is a knee crease.
I think what would Gary be?
Oh, definitely behind the ear. I don't know.
Because it's dark and scary and there's a lot of like
very scary. You never want to go back there.
Your mother always warns you about
Yeah,
it.
you gotta
Like,
make sure
like,
you
wash behind your ears. You know, like, so I was like, don't go to Gary.
Don't go to Oh man, that's
well,
pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Drew is already contributing far more than John and I ever have to this show. Yeah, cool. Welcome on. You guys are on fall break right now, right?
Yeah, I'm on week 2. We're
Week 2.
I go to Noblesville
Ooh.
High School, so we
Yeah.
got 2 weeks of fall break, and I just been kind of doing my thing at home, and everyone else been hanging out with my friends, been playing football, and yeah, it's been
Some of those topics, yeah, we'll touch upon here.
Some of those, yeah.
Yeah, let's start. Let's start off with how is school going? You are a senior.
Yes, senior in high school. It's
There we
good. Everything's going good. I got A's and B's and C minus here and there.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I
Hearing,
hate government. That's the class. Says
Government.
Government.
Who do you
so
have?
Gunderson.
I had Gundy.
Oh my god,
I loved Gundy.
He's a good guy, but unfortunately, I'm not a huge guy in politics. So
No, that's fair. No, that's what I liked about him is he played devil's advocate on everything.
yeah.
And I took it in the best year. I took it in the winter of 2019.
Ooh, wow,
Right before
yeah.
election.
I took mine. What was it? Took mine right the semester as COVID started. So in like
So
when
your
March,
second
You took it
so
in
my
the-
second semester, my
yeah.
spring semester. That's when I took. I took it with B Rob, and B Rob,
What a great guy.
who
What a great
was an amazing person, and I wish he was still at Noblesville because he truly makes.
Didn't you go to China?
I
did that
don't
get
know
canceled?
if he did,
Yeah.
but I know that he planned on leaving.
He was going to.
I have
that's why he was
had
leaving.
B Rob as a English sub, as a history sub, as a math sub. I mean, I've had.
Well, he's
I've
been
had
in
them
Noblesville
everywhere.
for so long, he
Yeah.
probably could teach every single
Yeah.
class.
No, I've had B Rob. I now realize this conversation's irrelevant to anyone who didn't go to Noblesville. But I had B Rob is during e-learning days, which for all those listening along were days where we had iPads at our schools.
Yeah, so
And they were basically just digital days. I think it stood for electronic learning. They would
Yeah.
just have you stay at home. They would sign you assignments, and you would just do them. Basically, it was like a teacher work day.
yeah, basically gave the time teachers to catch up on grading, and then the kids could stay home, get a little bit of a break. Most of the teachers that I knew, they were like, they would assign your e-learning homework like
Yeah.
at the beginning of the week, and some of the assignments were like the most easy thing you could
Color
ever.
this
Possibly.
picture.
It'd be like, explain to me why
number.
you're taking this class. It'd be like, I'm taking it because I have to, and then you just turn that in, and they're like, great job, 10
Weights
points.
class was like a video of you doing 5 push-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
for weights, it was for
really?
weights. You'd be like, okay,
And
do
Clark and Jay would just sit there and watch them.
what I would do.
Great form, honestly, just superb.
What I would
Been
do
better extra
for
taekwondo
those
on Thursday.
for those assignments, I would time myself once doing all of the workouts. So like I would do like if it was like 4x16 for incline push-ups.
Yeah.
And then you got to do like maybe three more exercises. I would time myself doing all of that once, and then I would multiply that time by 3 for 3 more times that I would do it, and then I turn it, and that was the time that I would give.
You would
them.
always do that, then add 20 seconds.
I added just a little bit of time because then they'd be like, well,
if
that's
you
a little.
slow down a little bit.
You know, maybe I slowed and got tired. So yeah, I added about 20, 25, and I got a perfect score.
I remember it.
If I got a perfect score in weights, anyone could get a perfect score in weights. I got a perfect score in weights in the theater education program, or the theater program. I was supposed to do shock put,
Oh yeah.
and then instead of going to the call out meeting, I went to an audition.
Yeah, didn't you tell Clark, or at the time, our weights coach, you're like,
It was Jay.
he's like, what? Oh, he's like, what sport are you doing? And you're like, theater. He's like, No, seriously, what sport are you doing? And you're like, I'm doing theater.
No, it wasn't sport. It was it was the question. It was towards the end of the year. It was like weigh-ins or whatever, and they were just tracking. I don't really know why. And Coach Jay,
he's an intense human being.
He was an intense.
He's an Olympian.
Second in command.
Yeah.
What?
He was in the Olympics, but I don't think he won anything.
He gave someone a towel in the Olympics.
Well, no, he did
no.
I think he did like weightlifting in the Olympics, but I can't remember.
Well,
what.
if it speaks to his
I could be
skill at
completely
all,
wrong.
He's not there anymore. So
No, he's
Yeah.
not. He has his own. I think he has his own gym, but it's like very small. But
Which hey, everything starts somewhere. Apple started in the garage.
yeah,
So little we know we're gonna.
well, we know we're gonna be working out.
Coach Jay's gym will be the Ben Stiller's gym from Dodgeball. Where it's all like say there, it's just Clark popping on the screen being like, Terry, you're fat.
You're fat.
Like motivational videos.
yeah.
But we were doing that, and so it was one of those I couldn't back out of the class. Like I was already in there, and I was like, I probably need to work out. Still say that every morning, but here we are. With my marathon 44-ounce cup, but it's okay. It's a diet Pepsi.
Oh, my bad.
Watching my figure.
0 calories.
Exactly. But but we're doing weigh-in, and you were supposed to do some like name, grade, sport. And I said Logan Browning. I think I was a sophomore, and I said I'm not doing a sport right now. And they're like, how are you in this class? Because I was in like specifically the like
because there is a
sports.
There's a weights class. It's not really weights, it's more just athletics for people who
It was Doc's
don't want it
class.
for Doc.
Yeah.
And he would basically just have you do like do like
some
ladder drills
Yeah.
and stuff.
Do
like
some wall sits.
wall sits, like very very easy
He
stuff.
had an obstacle course in the hallway last week with like, do you know those yoga balls that are cut in half on the platform that like
Oh, and you have to
wobble?
stand on that?
You had to jump over them and then jump through a hole. And that was the class.
I can do that now.
I did that in like
the
elementary
most
school.
physical fitness class I've taken.
So like as I'm
walking.
running inside from conditioning outside with weights class, I run inside and I see like a girl with pink hair dive through a hole. And
Well, that's
from a
just
path.
that's just an allegory for Noblesville High School.
Yeah, I mean honestly, it was great. I mean,
I'm surprised she didn't have cat ears and a tail.
maybe she did. She might take them off. You know?
Trying to become a real fox.
Like they're
Leaps
just
and
jumping
bounds.
On
over.
all forms of physical, I am a wolf.
She jumped into her foxborough.
She's a fantastic
You
Mr.
should have
Fox.
chased after her and said you're the hound.
But yeah, no, but the rest of the story is completely right. He's like, you're not doing the sport, then why are you in here? I was like, oh, I was supposed to, but I'm doing theater right now. And yeah, the double take this man gave me.
Yeah, he was like, no, I
legendary.
can't let this person in here. Oh.
Started choking you like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, I was like, he's like, no. But okay, so you're a senior in high school.
Yes.
Not really a fan of government.
No.
Communist.
I've been just kind of doing my thing.
Yeah.
Senior year has been going pretty good. Senioritis is very much.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Dude, I had senioritis since freshman year.
Oh, yeah. My senioritis didn't stop when I got to my senior year of high school. It has continued well into
I think
my
it was a
college.
symptom of COVID.
It is.
It
really
because you
is.
realize
We
how
were just
nice it is.
pre-game.
You realize how nice it is just laying in bed doing nothing and then just doing a homework assignment occasionally. Waking
Like
up.
with COVID, I did the entire semester's work of like all of the semester's work in 2 weeks, and all I did. So I didn't learn from March until August. So like I came back and like because I did 2 weeks straight of like I'd wake up, do all my schoolwork the whole day, go to bed, and that was just 2 weeks every single class. I finished all work, and then I just was on Xbox and staying up till 5 a.m. and playing Legos. And
Mine, I will never forget. There was one class I was in theater tech, which was just shop class. That's what I got on. It was just fun. We just built the sets.
Yeah.
We had Mr. Richards. Love that man. But his thing he would try to show us some documentary about Wicked or I don't know. It just shows my unknowledge on the class will make sense with this next sentence.
Yes.
So he would just because he was an old man. He didn't know how to share his screen, so he would just turn his camera towards his TV, watching it. And so I'll do a physical demonstration for the people in the room. I know people at home won't be able to see it. But I was in a recliner. My knees were hoisted up on the little footrest thing.
Yeah.
I had my iPad on my knees. So I was pointing at my face. And I had my Xbox controller under my legs. And I was staring right at my TV, which was right over my camera. I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I was just sitting there, and I was texting our friend George.
Yeah.
At the same time, because he was also in the class, and we just kept talking about literally how much we weren't paying attention.
My friend Vince Dawson, who I love dearly, he and I, over, like, right as the school year had started, he invited me, and it was kind of, it was nice because, like, I didn't really know him that well. I started to get to know him in the beginning of that class, and then towards, we then, hit it off real well and became great friends. And then right as COVID started, we had a Minecraft realm, which is basically...
Continue that story.
It is it's basically just a world. So a realm is essentially a world that everyone can play on, no matter what time it is. And so we would just constantly, like during certain Zoom calls for classes that we were in, because we all had classes at the same time, what would happen is that while we're, sitting there on our Zoom calls, we'd just be playing Minecraft, we'd be like, what? We'd be like, hey, what class are you doing right now? It'd be like, we'd be like,
okay, sorry to interrupt you here.
I'm like trying to am I supposed to be like paying attention to this?
So in the hallway right now, I have these two lovely people. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Gracie.
And I'm Caitlin.
They are in my motion graphics.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention, but yeah.
I think I'm like 2 rows in front of you guys. And last class, they were handing out some flyers, and I see you guys hanging them up right now. So please advertise what this is, because I think this is an awesome idea.
Thank you.
And I will be in attendance.
Thank
And
God.
you better be dressed up, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Black tie required, guys.
Well, we like to make little videos just for funsies.
Fantastic
and
channel, by the way. When we post this on YouTube,
Reserve
I will.
your judgment. Reserve your judgment. Subscribe
YouTube.
so we can have groceries.
I will say I will link their channel in our video when this gets posted.
Oh
We
my
also have a
God.
podcast, so like that.
No
We're
idea.
essentially having a wedding. But wait, we're having a platonic wedding. And you're thinking, what? It's a FAFSA wedding. So we're essentially getting married for FAFSA benefits. College is way too expensive. It's going to be an actual ceremony. I'm wearing my mom's wedding dress from the 80s.
We have an ordained minister and everything.
This is going to be a real deal. We're
I'm
still figuring
sad you
out
guys
some
didn't
things.
ask me. I am an ordained minister.
Why, though?
Because
I
it's
got bored in
funny.
class, and I was like, what would be funnier than saying?
Put that on your resume.
What if we kick out the other guy and you're the...
I'll do it. I can show you my
Really?
certificate right now.
We need to look at your suits.
You're hired.
Still looking for a flower girl ring bearer. But if you want to come to our fast food wedding, which you should, it's absolutely free. It's Sunday, October 30th. Sunday, October 30th. That's the day before Halloween at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. sharp. Be there. You don't have to bring anything except for your smiles and, of course, look good or you'll be kicked out. It's at Ball State University outside in the grassy area by Bell Tower. You
Yes.
will see where we are because this will look like a wedding.
And
it is
I
a wedding.
will be ordaining it, apparently. Now.
Yeah.
What if me and this other guy, like, coded?
You guys fight for who gets to marry us.
Can we do a rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah.
We might put you in something like, we might put you in a costume. I don't know.
Yes.
But
Sign
everybody
me
be
up.
there.
I'm so on board.
Ooh, pizza costume.
I have some pizza costumes.
I'm still on board.
Okay. So everybody be
Thank you for letting
there.
me be a little slice of your heaven.
If you attend, you will be on camera. If you'd like to be interviewed, we're doing some talking head sections if you just want to talk about your experience. But we'd love to see you guys there on a very big Celebrus Day.
All right, awesome. Well, hey,
Thank you so much for letting us.
yeah, congratulations, you
Caitlin
guys.
and Gracie, reserve your judgment. Reserve your judgment. FAFSA wedding, Sunday, October 30th. We will see you there.
Thank you, guys.
I do.
Thank you, guys. All right, congratulations on the wedding.
Thank you for the invitation. I have no
I'm
idea.
gonna tear up.
Yeah.
So, like, when you talk about being an ordained minister,
Yeah.
like, are you gonna fight this guy to the death?
Yes.
I think you should do an MMA.
I'm a man of God. I can.
I think so. I recently started watching Game of Thrones, and I think the trial by combat needs to come back in real life society.
I have always said this. If you guys want to, not to get political on the show, but if you want to fix gun control problems, have everyone carry swords again.
It'd be interesting.
the bigger sword, the bigger the the shorter the problem. You know what I mean? Like the longer sword you have, the shorter the problem will last.
Yes, absolutely.
However, I would like to bring up one caveat to your thing. If someone
Don't be a buzzkill.
brought a sword, and let's say he's like, this man says, I challenge you to trial by combat to decide who will be correct on this matter. And he's like,
Yes.
alrighty. And then the guy pulls out his sword, and the other guy, instead of pulling out his sword, pulls out a gun and shoots him.
False, because guns will be gone.
They will be
all
swords. And real
what
swords,
would happen
not
if I-
that stupid Baz
There will be house
Luhrmann,
raids.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Romeo and Juliet when they call their guns swords. No, these are real swords.
So what would happen if I like put a gun in my sword? Like let's say I pull out my hilt and it shoots the blade.
John,
So-
do you love being the most hated person in the room?
I'm just saying I'm finding
unfortunately-
issues with the
Unfortunately,
solution.
John ruined what we were talking about, so we're gonna have to. Move
Well,
on.
anyway, I have no idea what I was talking about.
So your Minecraft
Minecraft
realm.
Realm.
Okay, anyway, yeah. So during COVID, I would play Minecraft with him during our Zoom calls. So yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting at. But it ended up not being as interesting as what ended up happening instead.
No, I apologize for running out on the broadcast.
No, I was like, I saw someone in
there.
there. I was like, who is that? And then they came in here. I'm like, oh my god, who is that? And then
Yeah, so congratulations to the very happy platonic couple.
yeah, who are.
And
married
apparently, I
for-
just got my first.
You can put that
I
down.
just got my first gig.
You can make like a website being like, I have ordained a wedding.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
No, even worse, the Instagram market thing. That
Oh,
Oh
yes,
my
yes, yes,
God.
yes, yes, yes,
I
yes,
just
yes.
started there.
So wait, I do want to ask, since I know we're getting a little carried away, but I do want to ask Drew. So, you are not going to Ball State though. Everyone we've had
I
on,
am-
everyone that we've had on this show
So I
has
am
been a
not
has been a,
following in the footsteps to my
Demise.
your family,
Yeah,
because
my,
everyone in your family has gone to Ball
my
State.
mother and father were architect majors. And
Well, yeah,
It's-
mom was an urban.
it's
Wait,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Whatever she
Outfitters?
did.
No,
I'm confused what's happening.
she was a urban planner.
She studied
Who?
science. Yeah.
Urban planner, I think is what
Who?
it's called. My mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
I missed that part.
the point is both parents went to Ball State, and now
They met here.
Jonathan.
I go to Ball State. Even before that,
Thomas.
my grandmother went to Ball State. She lived in Muncie
My grandma went to Ball State.
Not only did she
She-
live in Muncie, she lived.
in the same apartment building, like not the apartment building, but the land that our apartment building is built on. She
Oh, yeah, I remember
lives.
that,
That's where
yeah.
her home was. So
Yes, no,
So
I'm not going.
He's
to Ball
not
State.
following in the footsteps of
I will be attending the Mid American Conference rival Kent State Golden Flashes
For
to play football,
yes, but for
elementary education.
there we go.
which is funny because I know some people. Oh, he's playing football, and you hear his voice. You're like, oh, maybe he's like I don't know, a 6'2",
Businessman.
guy. He's just he's kind of tall, but like no, Drew is he's 6'3", 6'4" on a good day, and he weighs. He weighs. How much do you weigh?
Well, if you ask my enemies, I'm 380 pounds. But if you ask myself, I am 320 pounds.
Of just
and
pure
6'4".
man.
Yeah.
Just pure testosterone.
Yeah. So it's funny. Imagine you walk in for parent teacher conference. Oh, Mr. Page. You walk in, and then you see this
Ginormous man.
beef man.
with an earring and a sleeve tattoo.
What does your tattoo on this side mean?
Okay, so people who can't see, it says "always and forever" in Greek, which translates to "na wieki empatia."
Cool.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I know how to say in Greek. But yeah,
I know how to say papaya. Is that Greek?
I don't know.
that's a
fruit.
I was thinking of...
There's yaya, which is the.
I know how to say gyro.
It's not even. Oh, dude.
Dude,
I know
my
it's
mom
Euro, I
is
just
going to
want-
be
Okay,
so
thank God.
mad.
I was about. I sometimes I'll be like walking.
We
through the
say
store.
it. We say it.
Euro?
He knows how to say
Okay.
it. He was just calling it that.
Yeah.
But I remember,
I know how to say Mamma Mia.
when I said in front of people, because there's a girl who I was like hanging out with. She was Greek, and she was like, "Wait a minute, how do you pronounce?" She's like, "You know that meal?" And she was Greek, but she was testing me. She's like, "Do you know that it's pita and it's got lamb meat and tzatziki sauce?" I was like, "Oh, gyro?" And she's like, "Oh my God, thank goodness you say it the right way." Because everyone that I live with calls it a freaking gyro.
Well, you know what's worse than
gyration.
that? You know what's worse than that is my friends call it a Greek taco. So-
It is a Greek taco,
but
though.
it can't get much worse than that.
Listen,
I mean,
I can't tell. Like, a part of me was like, oh, slight racism. I'm like, but is it? It's just food. I mean, it's like one would argue a hot dog is an American taco.
Kind of, yeah. Well, some people would argue it's a
I
sandwich,
think it's
which
just.
I don't believe.
And those people
honestly,
are wrong.
Yes,
I
it's
think
it's
just
an American
ignorance.
taco.
It's just ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So you're going to be playing football.
Yeah.
You play offensive line.
Yes. Well, according to my enemies, 380 pounds, I would hope I play offensive line.
Listen, I don't care. There's a guy who plays for.
You're saying you're not the running back?
There's a guy who plays for Florida who
Oh my god.
I can't. He's number 21 on Florida.
Defensive line.
He's a defensive lineman. There's two 21s on Florida. One's offense, one's defense. He's the defensive one.
Mm-hmm.
Just look up a photo of this guy. This dude
6'4",
he's
600 or 415 pounds.
450 pounds. He lost 70 pounds coming in as a freshman. So
Can I
this,
ask a weird question?
yeah,
Is that 415 in muscle or in fat?
it's
Very
definitely fat.
large.
He is like This man is double cheeked up, bro.
Oh
like
my gosh.
he moves and he takes one step and his whole body,
Jiggles.
everything jiggles. It's
Like
like,
the
Hey.
but like I'm just saying, I'm like, but then you see him play and you're like, oh man, he's so fast. You're like,
I mean, he picked someone up by his belt and threw him to the ground.
yeah, he grabbed him by the belt of his football pants and then just.
I told you that in confidence.
You got picked up by the belt.
Listen, I didn't want to talk about this here. Really, I thought we knew our boundaries. But I guess
Anything's fair game on the radio show. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
today's the last broadcast.
So I have a question for Drew.
Okay.
Because I've always I like to ask. I know you like to ask these questions, and you can ask. But like
Dude, I'm ready.
why? So I know for a lot of kids they stick with sports, either because their parents tell them to or they really like it at some point. Like, why did you stick with football? Was it because you liked it, or was it a bit of because mom and dad told you that you had to play?
Oh, dude, you make me tear up. I don't know. I really love football.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's everything. Like everything about it. I mean, I get happy to go to practice. I love watching football, although not sometimes. It's hard to watch a full
This
game,
man will
especially
not.
when team loses.
This man will not sit
I
and watch
don't know,
football
but
with our
no,
family.
I love
He'd rather be
football.
playing it.
I,
out there running around.
I love everything about it. Practices and just like the relationships you build and all that stuff. And when I first played back in elementary school, I used to try to find every way to get out of it. Like I literally jammed my thumb at recess in 3rd grade, and I emailed my mom from my school iPad. I emailed her because she was a teacher at the time at the school. I emailed her and said, "Mom, I hurt my thumb. I don't think I can go to practice today." And
I would do that, but as a high schooler.
Yeah, no, but I mean, as I grew older, like everyone was always telling me, "Oh my God, you're so big." I was actually terrible at football. I was horrible up until around 7th grade. I was terrible at football, but I mean, I loved it. And as soon as I hit high school, I realized it was something that I really wanted to do, and I could also go to college for free for it. So I just worked as hard as I could.
That'd be
And,
Yeah, for me, I'd be like, oh, you're gonna. Pay
So
for my school?
I love it, and I want to do it for the rest of my life. Whether that's playing, hopefully, dreams of mine playing the NFL, but whether that's coaching or doing something, I want to be involved in football for the rest of
I
my
think
life.
you guys should start a little broadcasts.
Yeah,
I like games and stuff.
yeah.
That's gonna be your slogan, the Page Brothers.
Page Brothers, yeah.
Page Brothers, just like Peyton Manning.
Always-
We're basically Peyton Manning, Eli Manning.
Always turning the.
Well,
next,
no, I'm more like Cooper because I didn't actually play football.
That's your little sign off. Is turning the next page. I'm John and I'm Drew. Welcome to the. That's trademarked, by the way. If you guys use that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah,
that's
we'll make sure we give you a little bit of the deal rights. Yeah, so.
I also get the film rights.
35 cents.
Or you have the rights to make the film.
Okay, all right. The behind the scenes film.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
Okay.
no, you got a deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's on record.
It's on physical record. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, hey, Drew, congratulations on one, getting into a school. That's already the first half of the battle.
Yeah.
But two, on the position and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's great. And I was super excited because I knew where I was going at the beginning of the year. So now I just have to worry about all the other stuff.
I'll say that mixing you right is 1,000 times
Oh
worse.
my goodness gracious, you have no idea. I wake up in the morning, and before I go to cadet teaching, which I do kindergarten and it is amazing, I lay in bed for a solid 15 minutes thinking like, what could I be doing other than everything I'm doing today?
Because it's just like, I already got in school.
Yeah.
I'm already in.
Like,
You know
Because
what I mean?
that was my thing with when I did
I mean, I have to
my
graduate now, but-
my senior year. I did cadet teaching as well, but I did 4th grade and 7th grade. And for me, especially with when I was doing 4th grade, I would wake up in the morning, and I would just like sit through all my classes. Besides two, my two media classes with Mr. Joe Akers, who I love dearly, and I loved his classes. I'd go there. I'd love doing his classes. And then I would go and do cadet teaching, so my day would be going awesome. And then I'd have to go and do econ, and I would look for every possible, like, how do I figure out a way to skip this class so I can just go home or stay longer with the fourth graders? Which is not something I thought I would say. I thought I'd never say I would want to hang out with fourth graders longer.
No, that makes sense for you.
I'm gonna tell you, elementary kids are highly underrated funny. Like
They are. Dude, they do
hilarious.
some of
They
them.
have most,
And
like-
what I think is great is that local hero Joe Forgy came to our school, the Ankle Creek Elementary School, and he said the most brilliant thing ever. I think what makes these elementary kids so funny is the fact that they have no like filter to tell them not to say something.
That's what I'm about to say. That's what I was gonna say. That's why I think they're funny. It's before the filter kicks in.
Exactly.
Yes.
There is.
They don't have any embarrassment. It's especially with like kindergarten and first grade.
Like,
there is not a lot of
You
embarrassment.
don't see middle schoolers like saying the most
schoolers are just
obscure things ever.
Middle schoolers try to be funny.
Yes.
And then when you
And
get to
then-
high school, that's when you start to separate the pack of kids who are like actually funny, kids who are trying to be funny, and then kids just who don't have a sense of humor.
I'm in the
But
latter
like
two,
middle school, everyone is like that. Everyone has no sense of humor or they're cringy as all
Oh
get
my
out.
goodness.
And then you've got these elementary school kids
Who are hilarious.
Up until I think about I'd say once they get to fifth grade, that's when they start to develop the cringe factor because they're almost middle schoolers, but they're not there yet. But like fourth grade and down, like they just do some of the most hilarious things that you'd ever see, and you're like, I don't know if I should punish you, laugh, or tell you to do it again. Like, you know,
You're like, we're actually going to do all three.
So,
Like, you have to go on timeout, but dude, that was funny.
so John, I actually, I know it's kind of off topic, but I actually have some questions for you.
oh my gosh,
And
oh wow,
Wow.
getting the table
this has
flipped on me
never
here.
happened before, right? But, I mean, there's some personal questions coming through
Oh jeez.
right now.
Oh no! There's the look of shock and scared of Logan's
I'm so
face.
happy. I'm so excited. I'm like, let's
I mean,
expose
this is
this man.
purely able to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
So, who's your favorite parent?
Oh my god! Well, I'm gonna give you the answer that Mom always gives us. I don't have a favorite. You all have your strengths. So
Or in the words of Bob Bilcher, I love you, or I hate you all equally.
yeah, I hate everyone the same, and I love Mom and Dad both the same. So no, I don't have a favorite parent.
What about your favorite sibling?
See, now that one actually is quantifiable because here's the thing. Penny is the worst. I'm kidding.
I think we can all
I'm
agree.
kidding. We would have the dinner table be sitting there and like we'd all be talking. We'd be like, "Mom, Dad, just admit it. Penny is the worst sibling out of us three." And they'd be
She's
like,
the lowest
"We're not
graded
gonna
one."
say anything. Your sister is a great person." And we're like, "Mom."
She's like a C- of people.
But I will say,
If
Penny-
I get sued for defamation,
no, Penny is amazing because Penny helps me with my college homework.
Yeah, she does do that. She actually was in a higher math class than I was last year. And I was a junior in high school and she was a freshman.
Yeah,
and
so-
she was in a higher math class. And I
So
think that's
suck it,
ridiculous.
Drew.
Yeah, honestly.
Honestly,
And
yeah.
I like sharing that story because, like, most of my friends are like, "Oh my God, Penny, like, what are you doing?" Like, dude, she is smarter than you. Like,
No, I like all my siblings, which I know.
two
I know
that you have?
The two that I have that I know of. I like Drew. You're very fun to be around because you do you kind of just the mood changes when you're in the room, and I like Penny a lot because she has sort of that wit and that humor that I have that we both can kind of get along with that I like. So. I like both of my siblings. So no, Drew, you're not going to interrogate me and get any sort of like
I
spicy
understand.
stuff, so
I
that when
understand.
we're at the dinner table, be like, yeah,
I have
well,
one. I
John
have
said.
one. I have one.
Okay.
Me or George.
I was going,
Oh
I was going
no!
there next. I
You
was going
can't
there
do
next.
this to me.
Me or
This is
George?
this is Sophie's choice, but I don't want to choose.
I'm just saying.
So you're taking.
I mean, listen, I love George. But it's only been for a couple years. You and I have been ride or died for almost a decade.
I know.
I'm going to give you an offer you cannot refuse.
It's tough,
Me or George.
I can't. I love both of you so much. That's the problem when it's like pick one. It's like I can't.
I feel like George would pick one.
George would pick
I don't
one.
know who he would
Penny
pick.
Penny also would pick one.
Oh no, and it is definitely me.
Yeah,
It
she
is
would be like
definitely me.
Penny. Be like, Penny, who's your favorite sibling? Drew.
Like within a second.
Within like a hot minute, like she'd be like with her parents, like, no, I like mom and dad. But like if she asked to choose between me
See,
and Drew,
the way
like,
I look at it,
like
the way-
loaded gun, and she's got to shoot me or Drew. Like she's not. They're gonna be like,
No
you must
hesitation.
pick
Yeah,
one, and
it's
then like
just right
before the
here.
guy would even finish his sentence, I'm dead.
I wish our phone line worked because I want to call up your parents and be like, choose one right now. Out of these
What
two
I think
here.
is great though is that so as much as like John and Penny will both tell you right now that I'm the favorite child, like they would both tell you that.
Oh yeah.
But as much as that's
I've been in your house, I think, yeah.
okay, well, listen, real quick.
Been around you
It
guys
has
a
been
fair amount.
it has been a very these not last couple years, but for all time. I'm talking all time rankings. I am John's favorite. I'm Penny's favorite, but my mom's favorite is John, and my dad's favorite is Penny because I'm the middle child and I'm like straight in the middle. So it's like an interconnected web, right? So I'm in the middle. Here's dad. Here's mom. Here's John. Here's Penny. They like me, but they like each other, and I don't like anyone.
See, I feel like... second. I was gonna say, I was like, I feel like I have a special connection with both of your parents because they gave me their CDs,
They did.
Yeah.
and that is a bond that will never be broken.
Broken.
Yeah.
You gave me your CDs.
You
We're
give
in
me
love
your-
forever.
Exactly. It's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could pick a favorite either. I just because like there were times where me and John were cutthroat to each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking fists flying, blood going everywhere, doors slammed on faces.
Oh yeah.
But there were also times where we were building Legos and all that stuff.
The
And-
worst part, the best part for us, and worst part for my parents was like, it would always be we would either be beating the crap out of each other and they'd have to come break it up, or we would be just teaming up and annoying the crap out of my
everyone.
mom and dad.
Oh my
and they'd be like,
gosh.
"Can you guys go back to hating each other? It's way easier to deal with you when you guys hate each other." So,
I think at one show we just need to have your whole family.
Oh my gosh! I
Bring
don't think
on-
you would be able to speak. It would just be everyone
That would
talking the whole
I
time.
would enjoy.
You would just
that
be a
so
mediator.
well, that's basically what I am. John knows for a fact I can fake my way through a mediation pretty darn good. Logson's class.
yeah.
So it was English 11, right?
Yes.
Um,
Junior.
I didn't. There was one we had to do facilitated discussions. Is that what we call
Something
them?
like that. Yeah.
Where it was like the teacher took a step back and all the kids just had a giant discussion about the couple chapters. There was one day I went in. I did not read a single page.
I do that too.
True, those don't taste good. I think I've coughed on that one. But I did not read a single page. So I went in there. I was telling John, because he was also in my class. I was telling everyone, I was like, guys, I didn't read. I'm so screwed. I didn't read. So I offered to be the facilitator and like lead the conversation.
Ooh,
and
that's
completely
perfect.
faked my way to 100.
Yeah, she literally was
Wow.
like, "This is great, Logan."
Because I would be
You're
sitting
like, "You
there-
didn't read."
I didn't read. I didn't do a darn thing. I just sat there. I regurgitated everyone else's quotes. I'm like, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. John, what do you think?
And I'm like, "Dude, I barely read too. I
Dude,
can't
that's-
fake my way
that
through."
is-
I'm like, wow, John, you didn't read.
Perfect.
yeah,
That is-
I know.
That is great because I don't know. He's still. I don't know if you guys ever had him, but Bill Kenley. You know who that is?
I didn't
I know
have
who
him,
he
but
is.
I know. Yeah.
I didn't have him though.
Amazing person, and we
He's a fun guy.
are reading Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. Great book. I haven't read a page of it, but it's a great book. Because unfortunately, you cannot assign.
That was a great book. I never read a page of it, but it was a great book.
But no, but the only problem is you cannot assign a group of seniors a book that is on Hulu. You can't do that. It went from a book. It is on Hulu. It's a TV show now.
Oh.
You cannot assign a group of seniors a book that is turned into a TV show because they will just watch the entire TV show and know everything, which is what I did. I used my friend's Hulu
And
sign
then he
in.
went on YouTube and he was like, watched a video that was like the difference between the show and the book.
And then you're like, "Oh no, I wrote my whole paper." It's
But, I mean,
He
it's
watched
very
the Watch
similar.
Mojo top 10
It's
differences.
very similar because when I wrote my paper on the whole book, my ginormous paper that was due 100 points and like 60% of my grade, I got an A on it.
Attaboy.
And all I had to do was Google quotes, and that was it.
That's what I do now. He's reached the college mindset.
You have. You're already playing like a college
Yeah.
student, so.
Oh my god.
Well, okay. There we go.
Sorry, Mom.
Wow. Wow.
Next
We
topic.
had stories planned to talk about, but we have gone off the
You know what?
rails.
Okay,
with
one
it.
story. Do you want to go into sports?
Well, here, let Logan do his Hollywood thing. We have
Okay, yeah.
We have an
I got
order of how we do things,
Here's the thing.
Drew.
Here's the thing. I'll do a super condensed version of everything.
I'll do a condensed version of mine too, since I don't have a lot
Real
of time.
quick, we're over the halfway point. But let's do weather real fast.
Yeah, super
So
quick.
everyone knows I'm staring at a piece of paper right now that tells me all DJs and specialty show hosts must do a weather update 30 minutes to every hour. And if anyone else who listens to any of my shows knows, I do not do that.
Yeah.
Because,
Who cares?
why? It's all right in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say probably like a solid like 68. 69.
Yeah, I came in. It was a little cold. My body's adjusted to it. I'm wearing long sleeves, so.
Probably. This is pretty like relaxing weather to me. Outside it's 41 degrees, but who cares? That's outside. Quick commit. I had a lot more, but I condensed it down to just 2 quick Hollywood stories, and they're not really stories; they're just little quips.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Dakota Fanning,
Ooh, that's not a name I've heard in a while.
right? Got cast in The Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington, and do you know what that means?
Ooh.
It's a secret Man on Fire reunion, like the hit movie Man on Fire, where Denzel Washington played Dakota Fanning's bodyguard.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Great
Do
movie.
you think that they will try to connect those universes?
No, but I really want Man on Fire too.
The Equalizer expanded universe.
Well, they have the show now. So
I know. So
technically
like
kinda is.
you know, like the port. Sorry, if you haven't seen Spider-Man: No Way Home, the portal opens up and instead it's what's
It's
her
Queen
name?
Latifah.
It's Queen Latifah walks through.
Queen Latifah walks in, and Denzel's
He
like,
was like, "Who are you?" It's like, "I'm the Equalizer."
And they do
It's
the
like,
little
wait a
point
minute, I'm the Equalizer.
"Wait a minute, does that mean we're equaling each other?
We're
We've
equals.
been
We're on
Equalized?
equal ground?"
Yeah. Oh my god.
I should write it. And then this is the slightly sadder bit of the news, but as a Harry Potter fan, I would feel really mad if I didn't mention it. Robbie Coltrane, who played Rubus Hagrid in the Harry Potter
big
movies,
boy.
has sadly passed away. At the age of, I believe he was 72.
Yeah, he
Lived a great life.
great life.
I mean, not only was he in Harry Potter, he was also in the James Bond movies. He was in the Brosnan era.
Oh, okay.
He was in a couple of them.
I was like, Craig era. I'm like,
Yeah.
where was he in
No,
Craig?
no, he's in the best Bond, Brosnan.
Oh boy, my dad's gonna have to throw a fit about that. He's probably at home right now, like, Brosnan was a terrible Bond.
And I will fight your dad on that every day. And then, so yes, rest in peace him. I think we can confidently say he made everyone's childhood that grew up on Harry Potter.
I mean, he made Harry Potter. He doesn't drop Harry Potter
He's
at
the
the right place.
first-
I mean,
True.
we don't have Harry
He's
Potter.
Yeah, true.
like the first introduction we get to the wizard world. He literally is the person who leads us.
he is
on
in the
a tour.
first one in the movie. We see him crashing down on his little lane.
Yeah.
He has the little like, oh, I thought I sat on him on my way here.
Yeah.
And then cries when they drop him off
Yeah.
and stuff.
And
And,
most importantly, he gives the stepbrother a pigtail.
he gave Dudley,
Dudley.
a pigtail. That is true.
Yeah.
The cousin. You
Sorry.
nerd. God, you're such a
Sorry.
jock.
What's his name? Harry Punt the football?
Yes. And then secondly on that, also sad, but this one was specifically requested by Mrs. Breckville. And I did want to mention it last week. I just didn't think it fit the tone. Also, we lost the late, great Angela Lansbury from Beauty and the Beast fame and also Murder, She Wrote. Two great legends that we saw sadly lost. A lot of people are going out in 2022.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, a lot of these
They're old.
actresses and actors are getting a lot older. A lot of them that were a part of our childhood are getting older, and it's just a way of life.
Oh no, trust me, I know. As a guy who listens to all bands who were like 35 in the 80s,
Yeah.
everyone's either dead or retired now.
Yeah.
So it's getting there.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, so rest in peace to those awesome legends. But let's go move on. It's time for Nosebleeds.
Yes.
Live from Letterman's very famous sports talk show
I don't know
here.
about famous, but
Infamous.
Either
With,
one.
John Page. Johnny, take it away.
So I also had I've got there was some things that happened. I kind of condensed it down. The Yankees beat the Guardians. The Yankees will be playing in the American League Championship Series.
Oh, cool.
nobody likes Jose Altuve.
I like Jose Altuve because he was one of the few players who chose not to cheat. But he's like, I'm not going to sell my teammates out.
He's short and he sucks at baseball.
No, he's short and he's really good at baseball. So anyway, that was the last time they played each other.
Pick
so
up on the brotherhood between the two of them.
There's a ton of bad blood between the Yankees and the Astros. So it's sad that Cleveland, with how young of a roster they were and how good of a season they had, for them to go out, it would have been cool to see Cleveland play. I don't know, like Philadelphia. It would have been two hard-nosed cities playing against each other, but. I think a Yankees versus whether it's San Diego or Philadelphia, especially if it's Philadelphia, because New York versus Philly in any realm of sports is amazing.
Always great.
I mean, it's always
but
great.
Everyone wants to see Aaron Judge hit home runs.
But everyone likes Andy. Yeah. So if anything, if it comes down to Yanks Phillies, that would be probably the best case scenario, and hopefully the Phillies would win because seeing Yankee fans cry is even better. So we'll see what happens.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yes, I absolutely despise the Yankees.
As a Reds fan who cries constantly, seeing a Yankees fan get it would be fantastic.
It would be great. It would
be almost as good as seeing a Sox fan, both Sox. Both colors.
Yeah.
Watching their fans cry is awesome.
I don't know. My grandma was a White Sox fan.
Yeah, Timmy Anderson. Timmy Anderson's a pretty great guy.
He's pretty good. No, I don't know about that. But anyway, next up, Myles Garrett, probably one of the few bright spots of the Browns against the Patriots. The Patriots blew out the Browns. By the way, I got that pick right because I knew it was going to happen. He passed Clay Matthews, not the Clay Matthews who played for the Packers, the original Clay Matthews. He passed him to become the Browns' all-time leader in sacks. I didn't want to say all-time leader.
All-time leader in what?
Sacks.
Can we talk about more important NFL issues, like Sauce Gardner wearing the Green Bay Packers cheese?
That was something I had on my list, but I didn't want to talk about because I want to talk about the Browns.
That is more important than.
What do you mean? Myles Garrett just became the all-time leader in sacks for the Browns.
Great for him.
The Browns have been around since the 40s.
What's the Browns' NFL record again?
That's not important. So, anyway, yes.
I feel like your negligence of the question is the answer to this question.
I mean, let's talk about Daniel Jones being MVP this season.
I will say the Giants, a lot of these New York teams, the Jets and the Giants, who previously have been absolutely terrible, are actually playing great right now. The Jets have a winning record.
But most importantly, Johnny gets his ice cream.
Yes, there's a kid on TikTok named Johnny, or not Johnny. He was interviewing one of the players, Sauce Gardner. He was like, every time the Jets win, my dad takes me out for ice cream. So how many times do you think I'm going to get ice cream this year? And the guy goes, a lot. And everyone in the comment section was like, this kid has no idea. So, but then after the Jets beat the Packers, some of the players in the Jets went up to the camera and be like, hey, Johnny, go get your ice cream, buddy.
That's awesome. That has the same energy as what's the Coke commercial, the like Mean Joe Green or whatever it was, the hey kid, catch.
Yeah. So there was a lot of fun stuff that happened in the NFL. I figured that Myles Garrett taking over in sacks was kind of important because it's a big stat.
What about Justin Fields not throwing a touchdown pass since week 1?
I don't like talking about Thursday Night Football because it's literally the worst creation on earth. How about that? I'll talk about that real quick. Thursday Night Football is awful. Amazon has been giving us quite literally the worst games that we could possibly watch. I think there's only been one good game, and it was a blowout. It was Browns-Steelers, and we had to watch Mitchell Trubisky overthrow his receivers, and we had to watch Jacoby Brissett also overthrow his receivers.
I know what you're talking about. I'm watching Clerks 3 on Prime right now.
I know, but like every other game besides that, it's been super low scoring, and it's not even that the defensives have been good. It's the fact that the offenses have been terrible beyond all comparison. It's like we're literally watching a game from 1942 when they're like playing football with leather caps and they don't have to know how to do a forward pass. It's been horrible watching Thursday Night Football.
Was there football in 1942?
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was like invented before, but I was saying, but like
there was. The thing is that with some of those teams, a lot of their players got drafted. So what they do is they would merge. One of the big ones was the Steelers.
Drafted in like Army.
Yeah, like the Steelers and the Eagles, they merged and they became the Steagles.
That was first season.
That was for one season, and then they disbanded and went back to being.
Did
on
they
their
at least
team.
make like a new logo?
They did. They did.
See, I would
It
kinda
was
like to see
like
some of those. That's kinda
it wasn't. It was basically just a black eagle, but
No, but that's okay. I was like, that's what get me.
then Pittsburgh did it again with the Cardinals because originally the Cardinals were in Chicago, and they became Pit Card. They didn't get any cool like, Stardinals or whatever.
Cardinals.
So anyway, yeah, Thursday Night Football's been terrible. I mean, if you're gonna watch a game, just skip it. I mean, maybe this Thursday night game might be good because it's Saints versus Cardinals.
The Saints are bad.
Saints aren't great, but the
The
Cardinals
only
have.
Saints player I know, I didn't realize retired like years ago.
He thought Drew Brees still played.
That's fine. That's fine.
But anyway,
Listen, when I lived in Louisiana, Drew Brees was
he's
the
king.
guy.
He was a god amongst men in Louisiana. So yeah, and then lastly, I wanted to talk about college football. Tennessee upset Bama. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened, but that's the biggest one because as much as I love Nick Saban's a great coach. He's a great recruiter. Alabama's amazing. Seeing Bama lose is just, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome.
There's
seeing.
some. No, I get it.
It's something about watching the guys that everyone knows is going to win lose, especially against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee fans are the worst, but their team is fun.
Good old Rocky Top.
No, that's how I feel honestly about. So I came from an IU household.
Yes.
Oh,
So that's how I feel every time I see Purdue lose.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that's like feels happy. Like I know
Yeah.
IU
Yes.
is also getting whooped
Yeah.
on a different channel.
Yes.
But like I saw Purdue lose.
And you're like, good.
And I was like, part of me is like, I like it.
Yeah. So Tennessee beating Bama was amazing. I mean, they literally turned Knoxville into a freaking war zone afterwards because everyone was freaking out that they beat Bama, which great. They go at it.
Are you find that Knoxville's not already a war zone?
I mean, no.
But now it's a war zone with football
happy
posts.
with football posts because they
Oh, there we
ripped the goalposts out of the ground, took it out of the stadium, and then just threw it in the river because why not? Because you beat Bama, and no one got in trouble
Happens.
for it. So
You know who else beat Bama was Georgia, and you know who played really well against Georgia?
Kent
the
State.
Kent State Golden Flashes.
they did actually play really good against Georgia. So what we're
So
trying to
by
say
the
here,
transitive property,
That Kent State's better than Alabama.
if A plus B equals C and B plus C equals A,
then yes, Kent State is better than Alabama.
then A plus C is equal to B.
No flashes. I mean, honestly, Kent State they have not been playing great as of late. But listen,
But you like just
great
would you like
coach
it,
Sean
though?
Lewis, great guy, awesome guy. They have.
Are you legally required to say that now?
Oh yeah, go Flashes. There was not a gun held to my head. No, dude. I mean, Colin Schley, greatest quarterback in the
Wait,
MAC.
I'm sorry. You guys are called the Flashers?
The Golden Flashes.
Flashes, not flashers.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like,
Flashers
what?
is
I
a
don't want to know
crime.
what your mascot is.
You don't want to know.
The mascot's a homeless man in a trench coat that just walks to different sides of the arena and just, hey, how you doing?
Hey.
It's a woman that has an OnlyFans, and
So yes. Anyway, let me get to my picks. I'm going to speed around these real quick. So Browns versus Ravens. Going with the Ravens. Browns look terrible. Saints versus Cardinals. Cardinals. I think the Saints they have a really whatever. Cardinals. I feel like they're going to be better on both sides of the ball rather than just offense or defense. Buccaneers versus Panthers. Obviously going to go with the Buccaneers. I know they lost to the Steelers, but right now they're dealing with an injured Baker Mayfield. They just basically kicked Robbie Anderson off their team. They've got an interim head coach. Right now, if you're a Panthers fan, I would just not watch football or go pay attention to something else.
Unless
whatever.
you're a Steel Panther fan because they just came out with a new song.
Unless you're a Steel Panther fan, because then that's actually fun. Colts versus Titans. I'm going to say the Colts. They looked really good against Jacksonville. I was there at that game.
I saw that last minute one.
It was a great game, and I've got to say I think the Colts are going to take that one. Falcons versus Bengals. I'm going to go with the Bengals. Falcons, they're a team that is, I think, what I can categorize as mid. Giants versus Jaguars. Giants look great, and I think the Jaguars are going to snowball just a little bit based off of some of these losses, and they're playing some teams that are going to give them a little bit of run for the money, hence the Giants. Lions versus Cowboys. As much as I love the Lions this year, I got to go with the Cowboys. Packers versus Commanders. Obviously the Packers. I know they lost to the Jets, but the Commanders are worse than the Jets, so I'm going with the Pack. Jets versus Broncos. I'm going to say the Jets are going to beat the Broncos because the Broncos are also absolutely horrid.
Nathaniel Hackett is the worst head coach in the NFL.
He is. He is quite possibly the worst
I
head
heard a
coach.
story. I know we're running too long time, but I heard a story of him making his players hug when they got in fights at training camp. That's all I have to say.
That's ridiculous. And I didn't hear about that, but that sounds about right. Yeah, I know. Texans versus Raiders. I'm going to go with the Texans. I think that the Texans I think they're coming off a bye week, so with them rested up, especially with the Raiders not looking great, I think they take the win there. Chiefs versus 49ers. Chiefs looking unstoppable. They're going to beat the 49ers. Seahawks versus Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers. They also have been looking pretty good. I know that Justin Herbert hasn't looked amazing because he's been hurt, but the Chargers are probably going to end up winning that one. Steelers versus Dolphins. I'll say the Dolphins on that one. Steelers have been looking very lackadaisical. And I think the Dolphins will take advantage of that. And then Bears versus Patriots. Patriots are in a rhythm now with Bailey Zapp, their third string quarterback. I mean, people are thinking that like this is, Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady all over again with Mac Jones out and Bailey Zapp playing. So I think the Patriots are going to beat the Bears on that.
But also da Bears.
Da Bears.
Da Bears.
So yeah, those are all my picks. I am 58-36 now. My record's looking pretty good. Let's see if it continues.
And remember, if you make bets based on these picks, you can't sue us.
If I get it wrong, not my fault. If I get it right, then you have to owe me everything.
I think he just took the projected winner, but that's fine.
No, some of these were different. I went.
All right, Drew. Way to expose him here.
I went with my gut. Some of these are not the projected winners, and some of them are.
Yeah, Texans.
All right. Well, hey, even though we're technically out of time, we're going to go ahead and push our bill here in an extra couple minutes because it's time for Florida Man Stories.
Yes!
Which is my favorite segment of every week, where John and I, throughout the week, have picked classic Florida Man headlines or just crazy news, and we haven't told the other person. And so we're going to read them here and there, and we're going to react. We're going to go ahead and speedball these, so just give me your two back-to-back.
Okay. So my first one is, I'm going to simplify the headline, is The Villages, known as the STD capital of America. So The Villages is basically it's basically a retirement home in Florida, and it is considered the STD capital of America. Not Florida, America. So if you are planning on moving to Florida for retirement, don't go to The Villages. You will probably get gonorrhea. Seriously, yeah, don't. Seriously. Everyone is like, yeah, I'm coming here to play golf, and I don't touch anybody.
Swing low.
Yes. And then Florida woman surprised by uninvited iguana in her toilet. It is literally what you think it is. She walked in at night to go to the bathroom, and there was a lizard in her toilet.
I can't blame her. That is a fear of mine ever since I learned that was a thing where like
Yes.
rats and like snakes.
Snakes.
would go up there.
I'm more scared of snakes and rats.
I'm just not waking up with a dinosaur in my toilet.
Like a
I
literal.
would just lose my mind.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so she literally had Jurassic Park in her toilet bowl. Yeah. So, yeah, those are my two.
Okay, mine is number one. Florida man tries to walk out of the store with a chainsaw stuffed down his pants.
He could have just,
Dude, what are you doing? That's all me.
Hey, don't touch me, bro. Come on.
Don't touch me. What do you mean? That's all me, baby. Florida man arrested for crashing car into a mall. Says he was trying to time travel.
Perfect.
That's pretty perfect because I think he watched the movie.
Yes.
Marty! Great Scott!
88 miles per hour. I can't do it.
Oh, no. What is it? The Iranians.
We must go.
The Libyans.
The Libyans.
Oh my God.
I got it wrong.
All right, we're gonna get taken off air.
Hey, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
John needs a time machine now.
In our defense, they were the threat of our childhood.
Yeah.
Now I'm digging myself in a deeper hole. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very sorry for that. John, please give me a public apology.
I'm sorry I messed it up. I thought it was the Iranians.
The Libyans.
We were
But it's
hacked.
the Libyans.
We were the hacked, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I was hacked. I can't believe it.
It was my little brother with the controller. I can't.
I gave my phone. I gave my phone to my little brother.
All right. Well, hey, folks, we are about out of time 2 minutes ago. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Drew, thank you for coming all the way up here for the show.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you would like to say here? Anything you want to say to anybody? Any shout outs? Any...
Shout out my mom. Shout out INSB.
Go Flashes.
Go Flashes. That's it.
All right. There we go. Now, before we go ahead and wrap on up tonight,
Oh boy, here we go.
to close out the show, we do have a joke. Drew, if you're not familiar, each week I write a joke at some point during the week.
Oh, I have a joke, but I can't say it.
He told it to me over dinner. I'm like, you can't say that.
Really good one.
All right.
Good one.
But mine, I'm pretty proud of mine. And based on your school name, I think this is almost, or your team name, this is almost applicable. What do they call the historical event where Al Capone's pants accidentally fell down?
Flash mob.
Yes!
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my gosh!
Do you know what you win, Drew?
What?
Nothing. Yeah, flash mob.
Oh my gosh!
Give you the mop
Wow,
story.
Drew. How'd
Yeah.
you know that?
I just connected the
It's
two
not.
together.
It's not. None of these are like rocket
going to
science.
go-
I couldn't think of anything. I was like,
I'm going to
Prohibition.
celebrate at Winkleman's.
And now we know who the smarter the siblings are. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My name is Logan Browning, and that is John Page right there. That is Drew Page right there. And you've been listening to Live from Letterman right here on WCRD 91.3, Always Better Radio. We will catch you again next week. Or in the meantime, if you just really want to hear our sweet, silky voices again, you can listen to our YouTube channel. Listen to this episode and the last couple of weeks' episodes there and well. Or you can tune in Tuesday mornings and afternoons, Friday mornings and afternoons to Naturally Wired right here in WCRD 91.3, Always Better Radio for just some good old rock and roll music and hearing me complain about bands in between.
Yep.
John has to listen to that every day of his life.
Yep.
Just about. Good night, everybody.
Bye.